Coming up on UCF Nightly News. Learn more about the national blood shortage and where you can donate.
Plus, find out how one student kickstarts his own karate class.
And find out more about how a UCF planetary scientist is using a telescope to explore out of this world.
And in sports, find out how track and field performed last week at the Clemson Invitational.
Nightly News starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to UCF Nightly News. I'm Lindsey.
And I'm Hannah Jo Groves. Today is Friday, January 21st, 2022.
Due to a spike in Omicron cases, the UCF Health Center sent an email reminding students that COVID tests are available. 100 vaccines are offered a day for free. Following CDC guidelines, face coverings are still required when visiting the health center, regardless of vaccination status.
Volunteer UCF and Keep Orlando Beautiful partnered up to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy by helping green up Eagles Nest Park. Hundreds of volunteers gave back to their community by planting trees and removing trash around the park on Monday. The MLK Day of Service event kicked off this year's Social Justice Week. This week, SJA partnered with different organizations to promote social justice-centered service events. If you want to get involved in justice-centered work near you, sign the Orlando Community Virtual Pledge at www.orlando.gov.
SJA also invited members of the UCF community to voice their pandemic experiences and challenges for Social Justice Week. The Voices of UCF event gave students the opportunity to get insight from 3 guest speakers. The event was live streamed on the organization's Facebook page, allowing guests to interact both in person and virtually. Social Justice Week continues today with the Tunnel of Oppression in the Student Union from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. For more information, visit the SJA website at sja.sdes.ucf.edu. After a guilty verdict in the Markeith Lloyd case, Florida Judge Letitia Marquez says she is preparing to announce his sentence March 3rd. On November 3rd, Lloyd was found guilty of murdering Orlando Police Lieutenant Deborah Clayton, who is also a UCF alumna. The jury found Lloyd guilty of first-degree murder, aggravated assault, carjacking with a firearm, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Lloyd now faces either life in prison or the death penalty. Nightly News will keep you updated.
With the recent surge of Omicron variant, COVID testing sites are seeing an increase in demand. UCF's COVID testing site in Garage A is experiencing a rise in testing due to the increase in COVID cases. Dr. Michael Dyken, Vice President of UCF Student Health Services, says this is because the Omicron variant is very contagious. Dr. Dyken says everyone or almost everyone will become infected.
It's on par with some of our most infectious diseases like chickenpox. And so it's highly contagious.
According to the CDC, Florida has added 49,537 COVID cases per day. Dr. Dyken says the university started to see an increase in cases before the spring semester even started. Dr. Dyken encourages the UCF community to continue taking safety precautions. UCF Information Security warns students to be wary of COVID testing scams. Cybercriminals send fake COVID testing or contact tracing messages through text, email, and phone calls. Officials say to disregard messages, don't click on any suspicious links, and avoid giving out personal information. To know if a COVID test is real, see if the test is FDA approved.
A UCF student is kickstarting a new student organization that offers karate classes as a safe space for the LGBTQ+ community. Second-degree black belt Mac Brueggemann is the president and founder of Out and Active. He teaches beginner karate classes every Monday and Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. on Memory Mall. Brueggemann says he wanted to create a welcoming environment for everyone.
You don't have to be like super athletic or like super into exercise, but you know, even if you just want to be in a club in this environment, so you can find someone to like walk with or go to the gym with, and so that was the goal of this club.
Brueggemann says the club is getting positive feedback, with more than 175 students forming part of the club's Discord. You can follow their Instagram at OutandActiveUCF to learn more about upcoming socials and group sports.
The 5-week intramural dodgeball season started on Wednesday night, but not everyone was on the court playing. I will show you more on dodgeball intramurals through the lens of student referees. Before an intramural sports season starts, a group of student referees go through training and prep for everything they might face. Even for a sport like dodgeball, 3 officials are required for each game. Senior finance major and intramural sports lead Anthony Merjane is starting his 4th year as a student referee. He said even though dodgeball can be difficult to officiate, there's never a dull moment.
It is probably the fastest, like the most fast-paced sport that we have, but it's also the most fun. So if you can kind of slow down the game in your head, it's going to be a great time.
All the games happen here in the RWC on Wednesdays and Fridays starting at 5 p.m. Shane Land is the assistant director of UCF Intramural Sports. He said student referees get to their games 15 minutes early so they can make sure everything's ready to go. All the equipment is set up, the ground is taped properly for dodgeball, and there are no safety concerns that need to be handled before they start the games. He also said a big benefit of getting there early is getting to know the other officials they'll be working with beforehand.
I do as an official as well, because you want to have a pretty decent pregame just to make sure everybody's on the same page. You get to know each other's name, you get to know their level of experience.
Land said the conflict resolution skills that students learn by officiating are extremely beneficial for their lives after college. The regular dodgeball season has 4 weeks left and ends on February 25th. For more information on intramural sports, students can go to the RWC's website for signups, dates, and student referee opportunities.
UCF planetary scientist Dr. Noemi Pinilla-Alonso will get to use a telescope in space to further her research on the solar system. Her project will use the James Webb Telescope's data to study the composition of small objects beyond Neptune. The telescope launched last December. Pinilla-Alonso says the team is preparing while they wait for the telescope's data to process.
But until we receive the first data, we are not going to really see what is in there. And that's kind of a challenge, but it's also the most exciting part, because it's the part that relates to discovery.
The telescope's data will help her team understand how our solar system formed with a range of wavelengths. Right now, they are planning models. They expect the telescope to reach its final destination in space by the end of January.
The American Red Cross is declaring a national blood crisis for the first time in the organization's history, as blood banks across the U.S. face shortages. January is National Blood Donor Month. The Red Cross says the supply is so low, doctors are being forced to choose between patients. Jeannie Vivas is a UCF student who says she regularly donates blood to help others.
I think making the decision to donate blood is a great way to contribute to the community, or like the world in general. So if we were all to decide to do this on a daily basis, how many people could we be helping?
The Red Cross says there has been a 62% drop in college and high school donations since the pandemic. They say one person donating blood can save up to 3 lives. Students and faculty can donate blood inside the One Blood bus by Memory Mall on Monday from 11 a.m. through 6 p.m.
In a study done by Homeland Security's Blue Campaign, college students are 3 times more likely to be targets of human trafficking. January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month. UCF officials asked students to stay aware and report any suspicious activity on campus. Traffickers will approach unsuspecting students in popular meeting places. Victoria Silkop says she feels safe on campus thanks to UCF PD's diligence.
For the most part, UCF does a good job with patrols and always having someone around, so I usually feel pretty safe.
If anyone feels unsafe on campus, UCF PD reminds students to look for the numerous blue light emergency boxes. On Thursday, UCF will hold a human trafficking webinar. For more information, students can visit victimservices.ucf.edu.
Hey Madison, it's been pretty cold here in the Sunshine State. What's the weather looking like?
Well, you might need to switch your jacket for an umbrella. Today we're looking at Am I supposed to keep talking when she's talking to me? Okay. Today we're looking at a 30% chance of rain with a high of 78 and a low of 56 degrees. We have an overcast with winds coming from the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Heading into the week, the temperature will stay around the mid-60s and the chance of rain will increase, so keep that umbrella just a little while longer. Back to you, Lindsey and Hannah. Joe?
When we come back, learn which two Knights made UCF history by winning 2 awards in the same year.
And find out about how one family copes with a missing family member.
And hear about 2 UCF professors who are being honored with fellowships from the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. We'll be right back.
For the first time ever, 2 Knights were awarded highly coveted fellowships within the same year. Isabella Castro received the Rangel Graduate Fellowship, and Norhan Nasir earned the Pickering Foreign Affairs Fellowship. The awards aim to prepare students for future careers in the U.S. Foreign Service and will provide opportunities such as skills training, mentoring, and internships.
The search for a missing man near UCF continues. His family and the police at the Orange County Sheriff's Office are turning to the public for possible leads. Nightly News reporter Madison Monroe Adams tells us more.
For over 60 days now, 23-year-old Brian Vladeck Hassel remains missing. He lived with his father at the place at Alafaya, just about 3 miles away from UCF. On November 5th, Vladeck's dad left for a family trip, but Vladeck chose to stay home. When his dad got back, he was gone. Vladeck's sisters say that their brother started acting unusual before he went missing. They say he turned extremely religious, giving up his possessions, including his phone and bed. His sister Jody Hassel says he kept asking what the purpose of life on earth is if you can just go to heaven.
So he was very fixated on heaven and asked my dad several times, like, what happens if you commit suicide? Can you still go to heaven? What if I just go in the woods and I lay down and die?
His family says they haven't heard anything from the Orange County Sheriff's Office, so we've reached out and they say that this is an active and ongoing case. The Orange County Sheriff's Office says they won't stop working until Vladik returns home safely. Bethany Hassel says she's looking for answers.
We just need to know he's okay. We're just worried. He's never done anything like this.
Vladik's family is asking people to share his photos as much as possible to help get the word out. They say they just want to know that Vladik is safe. In Orlando, Madison Monroe Adams, UCF Knightly News.
If you have any information on Vladik's whereabouts, call the Orange County Sheriff's Office at 407-836-4357. Nightly News will keep you updated.
2 UCF professors are being honored with fellowships from the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. John Wang achieved fellow status through his contribution to low-power computer disk storage system designs, and Greg Welch contributed to tracking methods and augmented reality applications. The new honorees bring the IEEE Fellows to 17. UCF Experiential Learning is hosting their 2022 virtual internship on Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The event is expected to bring 39 recruiters for students to speak to for internship opportunities. Students can register on the Handshake app. After the break, we'll learn about how UCF is recognizing National Mentoring Month.
And stay tuned to see the latest weather forecast. January is also National Mentoring Month. With over 20 mentoring programs, UCF believes any student can find a mentor to help them with their studies and ease them into university life. Specific programs are available for first-generation students, members of the LGBTQ community, and more. Those interested in joining can visit ucf.edu and access the mentoring and academic coaching page. How's the weather looking, Madison?
Good afternoon. The weather is nice today, but we have a cold front on its way. First, we're going to look at our highs. Today, we have a high of 76 in Orlando, 77 in Tampa, also 77 in Miami. And in Tallahassee, it's 50 degrees and Jacksonville 57. Then for our lows, we have a low of 55 degrees in Orlando with 58 in Tampa, 69 in Miami, 37 in Tallahassee, and 41 in Jacksonville. And now for our rain percentages. It's 30% chance of rain in Orlando, 15% of Tampa, 18% in Miami, 15% in Jacksonville, and absolutely no rain in Tallahassee. Next for our 5-day weather forecast. We have a high of 61 degrees on Saturday with a low of 45 degrees and a 40% chance of rain. On Sunday, we have a high of 61, a low of 38, and 0% chance of rain. And on Monday, we also have 0% chance of rain. The high is going to be 64 and the low 47 degrees. On Tuesday, we have a high of 69 degrees and a low of 57 degrees and a 40% chance of rain. And finally, on Wednesday, we have a high of 73 degrees, a low of 49, and 30% chance of rain. Now, it's going to be cold this weekend, so you might want to bring a sweater. Back to you, Hannah.
Coming up next, find out what's happening in men and women's basketball.
Plus, learn about how our women's track and field team is doing so far this season.
See what's new with UCF football this offseason.
Welcome back, Night Nation. I'm Jason Hamby, and here's your UCF Sports Update. The UCF's football team annual spring game will take place on April 16th at the Bounce House. The announcement was made yesterday on the official UCF Athletics website. This would be UCF's first game with the new offensive coordinator, Chip Lindsey. The Knights' last game saw them defeat the Florida Gators 29-17 in the Gasparilla Bowl. More details about the spring game will be available at a later date. UCF safety Devod Wilson has decided to return to the football program for his senior season. On Wednesday, Wilson announced his return to UCF on his Instagram account. Wilson will be exercising his last year of collegiate eligibility and foregoing his chance to enter this year's NFL draft. Wilson totaled 72 tackles in the 2021 campaign, fourth most on the team. He also added 2 interceptions, which was tied for the team lead. Wilson's play earned him a third-team All-AAC nomination. From returns to transfers, Auburn freshman Lee Hunter announced his transfer to UCF on social media Thursday. Hunter will be playing in the spring football season. The defensive tackle was rated the 81st overall player nationally in the 2021 signing class, according to 24/7 Sports. Hunter is the 8th player to transfer to UCF this offseason and 2nd from Auburn. The UCF men's basketball team will return home to the additional Financial Arena Saturday to take on the Tulane Green Wave. The Knights look to continue their winning streak after defeating the ECU Pirates 92-85 earlier this week. The Knights will face the Green Wave for the first time since last season. UCF is 7-2 at home so far this season. Head coach Johnny Dawkins says he believes getting off to a quick start offensively will be the key.
We can bottle what we did in the second half execution-wise offensively. I think that'll help us. I thought we were really in a good flow offensively. We moved the ball, we moved our bodies, and guys were able to play off each other really, really well.
The Knights will enter the game at 11-5 on the season and 3-3 in conference play. You can watch the game on ESPNU at 2 p.m. The UCF women's basketball team looks to keep their winning streak alive as they travel to Ohio Saturday to take on the Cincinnati Bearcats. The Knights are coming off a 4-game winning streak entering the matchup with the Bearcats. This will be the first meeting with Cincinnati since last season, where the Knights won 53-43. UCF will enter the matchup 5-1 in away games and 12-2 overall this season. You can watch the game on ESPNU Plus at 2 p.m. UCF track and field kicked off their season in South Carolina with the Clemson Invitational, dominating in the women's 400-meter dash. UCF, along with 9 other schools, were invited to Clemson's Invitational that took place Friday and Saturday. Latasha Smith, Kia Williams, and Samira Bradwell placed 3 out of the top 8 spots. UCF's A team in the women's 400-meter relay placed 4th between FSU's A team by nearly 2 seconds. UCF is now getting ready for the Hokie Invitational at Virginia Tech, taking place today and Saturday. Following her performance at the Clemson Invitational, Latasha Smith was named American Athletic Conference Player of the Week. This honor came after Smith set a personal best in the UCF record by winning the 400-meter dash. Her time ranks 3rd on the Division I indoor performance list. Smith also turned in a top 10 finish in the 300-meter dash. That's all for sports. Lindsey and Hannah Jo, back to you.
And that's our time for now. Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can always keep up with us during the week on our social media at UCF Nightly News.
Thanks for watching and have a great day.